Hi everyone, I'm Sophia Sofranak, and these are my 5 participants in my speech. We have Jimmy, Alicia, my boyfriend Jeff, his mother Cindy, and her boyfriend Dave. And I'm commencing my under 4-minute speech. Have you ever woken up only to find yourself next to a beautiful airline stewardess in an equally beautiful hotel room? It happened to me one time. I bet you're wondering how I pulled that one off. I was 16 years old at the time, and I was doing terribly in math. So my mom agreed to fly me out to Washington, where my aunt lived, and she was an algebra teacher. She promised to get me up to speed before my final. So needless to say, I was stoked. I got on the airplane, and I waited 3 hours. Apparently, Florida business was commencing. There was a tropical storm brewing close by, and the pilot wasn't sure whether or not we were going to take off. But it wasn't until I sat in a stagnant plane for 6 hours that they finally decided on the last flight of the night that we were going to have to evacuate and wait for the next flight at 8 a.m. in the morning. I, at 16 years old, did not want to spend the night at an airport whatsoever. I thought about all the books I had crammed into my backpack and how uncomfortable that would be as a pillow. I sighed, and I accepted my fate, and I disembarked the plane, and one of the stewardesses approached me, and she said, "You look young. Is your family here? What do you plan on doing for the night?" And I said, "Well, I'm probably going to just stay at the gate and try to fall asleep here." And she said, "Well, you know, me, along with all the other stewardesses, get free stays at the Hilton right next door whenever a flight is canceled like this. So I see no reason why you can't just come along and stay with us. We're going to order pizza. There'll be pay-per-view. It'll be fun." And I said, "Yeah, oh my God. I mean, yeah, please. That would be really, really cool. I would really enjoy that. Sure, yeah. Hotel, Hilton. I think the best hotel room I had ever been in before that was a Holiday Inn Express. So that was good. I got on a shuttle with all the rest of the stewardesses, and it just so happened that they all had the same shift the next day, so they were all going to be on the same flight with me the next morning, so they were going to help me make my flight, help me get my continental breakfast, my pizza, the whole deal. It was a great time. I sat there, heard all their funny stories that you would only hear if you were hanging out with a bunch of stewardesses. And I realized how lucky I was the next morning when I woke up, well rested, walking onto that plane. I thought, that woman did not owe me anything. She could have just rushed off to her hotel room to have a good night's sleep, but she instead noticed that I was alone and offered me the opportunity to come and stay in a nice hotel room with her because there was enough space in the bed next to her. And that taught me a lot. I just realized that I always want to be like that. There's no reason why I shouldn't help someone once I notice that they need help, and I know that it will be of no consequence to me. I watched her get ready the next morning. I admired her so much. I even considered being a stewardess that night for a couple hours. And the next day, she was on the same flight as me, and she snuck me snacks that normally you have to pay a couple bucks for, like little sausages and cheeses. It was a wonderful time. I hope to always be that generous. She was the first one to show me that kind of generosity besides my parents.